Welcome to another episode of the Top Corner Podcast. If you didn't know me, now you know me. My name is Jordan.
Well, now they know you.
Yeah, now they know me.
That's funny.
Sitting on my left ear or my right ear, I don't know which one it is. It's
Right
Julian.
in front of you.
Yeah.
Right in front of you. Here I am.
Yeah. It could be my left ear if I was looking at this side.
Well, really,
my
you're
right.
We're keeping all that in there.
Yeah. How you doing, brother?
It's good to be here. Good to be here. It was an interesting, I feel like not a great weekend and not a great morning / afternoon, but this podcast can pick you up when you're feeling down or bring you down even lower sometimes. And this feels like a good episode today already.
Ooh la la. Interesting.
Ooh la la. Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't think the podcast has ever made me have a bad day. So you're a good co-host in that way. I'll tell you, editing the fucking podcast is difficult some days. Some days I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
But being here and having these conversations.
That's probably
is
why I
always
didn't
good.
get any short. Well, I got one short.
No, I got one for you as well. It's on my phone. I'll send it to you. I put it out yesterday. So I'll give it to you and you can put it out tonight. And funny enough, it was talking about William Saliba. So we will have that we were just having that conversation off air about William Saliba and what his options really are moving forward. We can get to that right now if you want, or we can go to the regular news and rumors. I don't give a doesn't matter to me.
Yes, sir. Well, a lot of people have been retiring lately. That's crazy. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting old.
And not just going to Saudi Arabia, by the way. Some people consider that retiring.
Yeah, I mean, it's same thing. But like, even if you're still playing somewhere, at least, once in a while we can, if you get hurt, they might say
we talk about you then.
But like retiring, it's like, dang, I grew up. They made my days back in the days. You know what I mean? Like watching football at the bar when I was a kid. I know y'all don't get to do that here, but we do. It's like just intense moment knowing all these players. Thomas Müller is retiring, adding to that list. Toni Kroos, Xhaka. I don't know if Xhaka is retiring just internationally.
I can see
that.
I
feel like he might be just internationally. What's the other one? There's another one who just said was probably retiring. Dang, I forgot. But no, definitely. I think Di Maria is retiring. If it's not all around, it might be internationally. Yeah. I don't think he's coming back from the World Cup. I don't know, man.
Well, he's 35, 34.
He's up there.
Angel Di Maria.
He's definitely up there.
And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is more than likely moving to Saudi Arabia from Marseille.
Yeah, that means
so we'll hear even less from him now. And to be fair, when he was at Angel Di Maria is 36, by the way. And while he was staying in the French league, we weren't hearing anything from Emerick Aubameyang.
Yeah.
So
dang, man, he, you know what? He used to be one of the speedster when like 2014, 15
at Dortmund.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, and like because I watched most of his games while he was at Arsenal. Yeah. And like you wait for those speedy moments. You wait for him to really put it on, and he just didn't really have any of those moments at Arsenal. Whereas like most of his highlights for Borussia Dortmund were those. Just leaving somebody in the dust on a breakaway. That 10 to 15 yard speed that he had was just unbelievable. Getting one-on-ones with the keeper, looking like Mbappe at Monaco. That very similar play style, just getting in behind and just being able to burn you down. But he was
killing it.
He had a good 3 seasons at Dortmund where he was one of the most entertaining forwards to watch.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Oh, my brother, he's from Gabon, man. That's another guy. It's a lot of people retirement. Well, I guess we get to see them as hosting. I mean, even if it's just not retiring, on all level of sport that I used to follow, people again. Oh, Djokovic lost to this kid in Spain. I forgot his name, but that's tennis for you. You probably don't watch tennis, but Djokovic made this was the guy.
I actually used to watch quite a bit with my mom's mother was really big on it. So it was always on in the background. Like I would watch it, and like I admired Nadal
Yeah,
he was always on. I feel like almost every time that I watched, there was a Federer and Nadal rematch going on.
Yeah. That was
that's good stuff though.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So,
well, hold on. Speaking of tennis, have you heard of the newer movie Challengers? No. It's a tennis-ish movie. It's about tennis, but it's also about other things. You should watch that. It's fun.
Who is in that movie?
Yeah. We, my wife and I just watched, because that's one of her favorite directors.
Yeah.
He did a movie
called... The guy who directed the movie?
Yeah, the guy that did Call Me By Your Name, which came out in 2017. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not. But that's a really good one as well. So, yeah, like, we make a point to watch his films whenever they come out. And Challengers was one that came out this year.
Was that based on the true story?
What?
Challenger. Oh, that's just, like, white.
No, I think it's fictional, but it's
okay.
It's a famous, somewhat past his prime but young tennis player is on a losing streak, and to come back up, he's going to do a challengers tournament, which is kind of like a walk-on, kind of open challenge, and finds out that one of his old rivals, who was actually sleeping with his now wife, is entering the tournament as well, and they match up, and if you lose to your rival at a point where you're trying to prove yourself, like, it could possibly just make or break his career. And so it's good. It's a good little movie.
Wow.
You should watch it if you like tennis.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I heard about it. I seen the what's it called?
The trailer.
The trailer.
Yeah. It's good. I liked it.
Well, I guess that's one for the books.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of.
Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll be back with you next week. I'm kidding. That's it. That's the Express episode. Now we got some news and rumors for you.
Oh yeah. Hit them. I got some too, but
shit.
Sorry.
Joshua Zirkzee officially with Manchester United. Is that a great choice for him?
I gotta research more about how he plays, style play, whatever. I think
Where's he?
They just got him right.
Yeah, like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And here's the criticism that I've seen about it. Nothing against Joshua Zirkzee himself. Just like where does he fit in?
Yeah.
Because he's probably not going to start over Højlund, because you've built Højlund up for a season and a half or so.
Yeah.
Is he replacing Rashford on the wing? Because he's not a winger. You got a straight number 9 that you've needed for a long time. Just where he's going to fit into this lineup is a bit unclear.
Yeah.
Whereas there are other places that he could have gone, such as I think AC Milan is looking for a new center forward, and we'll get to them later on in the news and rumors as well. But I just don't know if United is where, and even Ivan Toney is interested in United as well. So it's just like, it doesn't seem like a great time to go there.
Yeah.
But you could have fooled me, because it seems like everybody's interested in wanting to go there, and I don't know why. But anyway. So what do you think about the Manchester United stuff? Because we've got several.
I don't know, but Manchester United is kind of shaking up things in a while, but in a sense. But actually talking about them, since we're talking about them, they had. I don't know if I can remember, but I know for sure. Oh, I know they're letting go. Who's your central back again? One of them, the guy that came from Madrid. Shoot, how did I forget his name?
Oh, well, Casemiro, but he's
no,
because he's a defensive midfielder. Yeah, he's heavily rumored to be on his way out. But
for real,
yeah,
they played this weekend with him though, and they lost. But besides the point, I think that I really want to see what's the outcome of that team. To be honest, I have so many doubts.
Yeah, and like. Sancho is back.
I heard that they hash it out.
They did, but you still have to think that he's moving on, because they've got so many options on the table here.
You think so?
I think it's good to get
some of them.
See what?
Rate some of those options.
If Xerxes comes in, that's taking up a spot on the wing.
Yeah.
Lenny Euro's a defender. Just like they've got guys coming in and out. Ivan Toney. You're about to have a surplus of forwards, but they're all not in the positions that you need. But why not fetch a good price tag for Sancho while he's on your good side, able to really listen to all the deals being made, not wanting to just shut you down and go on another useless loan trip. I think that it's just making a good...
And plus, they were trying to get that kid Lenny, just from
Lenny Euro from Lille.
From Lille. Yeah. What's his position?
He's a center back. He's 6'3", big bitch.
Die.
He's like 18. Yeah. And it's like it's so funny seeing someone that's that tall but that young. Because it's just like
how did you get that?
Like your face looks like you're 12, but like you're so damn tall.
I gotta watch him play. Is he good? Is he not? But I feel like with youthness, he's adding to that. Oh, Kabwala is leaving.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
I mean, that was inevitable.
Why?
You think he was good?
I think that you didn't have many options. And I think that even with Lenny Euro there, that doesn't mean. I mean, they just re-signed Johnny Evans until 2025.
But I think they're gonna try to put. They're gonna try to buy. I think they're going for players that are yet to be discovered.
They're gonna have to do something, like because even just one Lenny Euro is not gonna make up for the fact that, like I said, you need
another
Lisandro Martinez, who has not shown that he's worth anything at United except for getting hurt. Johnny Evans, who's way past his prime. I don't even know why you re-signed him. And you have Harry Maguire.
They were trying to get another left back too. Is it left back, right back? We gotta see. But United is in an interesting phase. I feel like they might have something more to bring to the table next season.
They might. They look like they are an under-skilled, underqualified, undervalued Real Madrid right now. Yeah. Like they're wanting to make so many different moves. The squad's obviously in transition. You've got guys that are a little bit older than they should be to be there. You got guys coming in that are unproven.
But for some reason, I feel like it's more of an organization than last year. Well, it's probably too early to tell, but let's see what we get.
So really fast with Lenny Euro. So PSG are out of the race for him.
Yeah.
And he basically has right now, he has two solid options, both of which are interested in him.
I think he played Lille at Lille, right?
Yeah.
I think they were, if I read it correctly, they were willing to knock off 10 million from him.
Yeah. So Madrid and United are the two wanting him the most, but Madrid have said that they won't pay more than 30, which for an 18-year-old is a good deal. I don't see that that's an issue. And I think that if you're Lille, like, it wouldn't hurt you to put a good rapport in with Real Madrid as well, because let's face it, they're not coming to you for these sales all the time. I say you kind of build a good relationship with them and try to build up more talent to give to them. Because seriously, I mean, because you are a selling.
You're talking like Lille has no aspiration of winning.
They don't. I mean, they won the league 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then they hadn't won in years before. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you have someone like Madrid on your good side where they know that they can come to you for young players, maybe you don't want to ask for the big payout right now.
Yeah. Get your head out of gutter. Nobody's giving you 50 million for that.
No.
Well, depend. United might. They got the money. They might. But if they give 50 million for him, it's better in a sense for United instead of spending 80 to 100 million.
Yeah.
And at the end, there's
because they're still in the same position where they were last year, even though their squad's a bit more interesting now. They don't have just one position to fix.
But do you feel like Sancho, Rashford might bring more to the table next year, provided they are healthy and they understand and the dynamics with the squad and the coach, the relationship, it's healthy too?
Provided that, yes, but the last 3 or 4 years have proven that that's a lot harder to ask for than you're suggesting.
Also, another thing, there was out of okay. Do you think the change of coaches every single time also affect Rashford's development as a player? Because he from youth to, I think Mourinho gave him his first break, and then you keep changing. There's not a real person that's sticking around for that development, and sometimes kind of messes you up.
Yeah,
as compared to most of the youngsters right now, like Vini's been in Madrid for so long.
Yeah,
all he knows is Don Carlos. So now he's developed into that player. Now you don't really need a coach that more for a development. Now he's into that space where it's him.
I think that because we had a similar conversation a couple of weeks ago, I think, about like it's not the coach's job to get the player, to teach the player new ways of playing. It's about getting the most out of what they can do. Like at this point, your, I guess, like development in terms of like honing the skill, that's done. Like you're in these positions to do what you do well. So I think that Rashford's done developing. How old is he?
26,
so getting the most out of him is different than developing. I don't think that there's a manager that can come in and say, all right, kid, we're learning something new today. It's like, no, you're kind of just giving them ideas and techniques and like changing their play style to better suit them and your tactics. I think that's all you can do for Rashford. I don't think that you can make him a better player at this point, if that makes sense.
My thing is, if Sancho is healthy, plays for the team and the coach, I think there's more he can bring to the table, him and Rashford combination, and potentially Højlund as a striker. I think I can see them working well, because now you got 2% that can feed, can score, can create and whatnot. Rashford can be that guy. In fact, a little part of me believe that if Rashford was healthy and had a good season, he might have been a better help for England on that left wing, because there was freaking no one on the left.
There was no one there. Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I mean, if those two can get on the same page and work well with Højlund in the middle, I mean, there is a world in which that is possible. But I just think that we've seen over the last couple of years or so, it's much more difficult than just that. Neither one of them seem the easiest to work with. Including in Erik ten Hag.
They did like really in the Spider-Man meme now. It's you.
So I mean, if they can get on the same page, but like this, it just seems a lot easier said than done with those guys and this manager, this cocktail. It just seems like it's very difficult for them to be on the same page together, unfortunately. When they all three should be able to just go, fuck it, it's over. Like, let's either move on or get this thing going. But like the whole in between period is just, I think it's impacted the entire squad, the entire organization. Not just those players, not just those players playing poorly, but like it's showing that it's much more difficult for some reason for a lot of these United players to interact with their manager. And it's not always the manager's fault, but it seems like it's a much more likely situation for it to happen here than most other clubs. And it's a very strange thing to see.
What you got, man?
So speaking of United, we'll go ahead and get this last one out. Ivan Toney wants to go to Man United. I see, like, he starts over Højlund, but I don't. If I'm him, I don't want to go there. Why do I want to go there right now? That doesn't make any sense to me.
It depends.
I'd rather go to Chelsea. At least he'd be getting paid more. I could ask for more money and it not matter.
He's what, 27, 28?
He's 26. I think he's 20. I think he's 27. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still got time, but this next move is important.
Yeah, I gotta think, because 27, if you didn't get in your prime at 25, you might be a late bloomer.
27, 28 is where 28. Like it's that last bit of where like you're the most intelligent that you'll be while most physical.
Yeah.
And it's right before your physicality starts to go. And so like everything is at its peak potentially.
Yeah. And you probably potentially got 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Then you want to get a club that will get you in these conversations.
Yeah.
And you gotta get your money.
Yeah. I mean, you're 27.
But you gotta those two things are mutually exclusive. Like it has to be together. Because if you just get the money, you're gonna get the money, but we're gonna forget about you.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, you've got to think. I mean, you're 27. You're getting a big profile move. No one's signing you for less than 4 years.
Yeah.
So you'd be, 31, 32 almost by the time that the next sale is coming up. You're not going to get as much money on that move. It's probably not going to be an upgrade for you. Like this is realistically the last window.
It could be a good move for him though, which is like
could be.
He brings more to the table as compared. Depends. I wouldn't say, but he is more complete than Højlund as a striker, right? Yeah. And there's potential. So the only sad thing about it might not be a sad thing, but it might be. It's Højlund having to compete for the position.
Yeah.
Now, let's say United get to a good thing this season, then it's gonna be a matter of who. It not even who is playing, but the competition is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Because and I see what the coach is doing. If you hash it out with Sancho, because I don't see what right wing you have at the moment, unless I don't know every single right wing in the world, but the best option that I feel like you get for less money because you already paid for the guy will be, hey Sancho, guess what, bro, let's make out.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, unless you're trying to grab somebody new, Sancho stays there. The best thing that I can think of, if you sign Toney, hell man, what do you do? Rashford on the left, Toney in the middle, and do you just say Hoyland, get on the right, make something happen. Like try. I don't know, and like I don't. You don't want to be in that situation. And if you're Ivan Toney in the middle, I don't want to be in that situation. I've got a guy that usually plays my position over there, trying to give me service.
Yeah,
that's not his skill set.
Oh well, Ivan Toney tried to feed Ivan Toney tried to feed Hoyland, and you have Bernardo.
Would he be happy with that
Silva.
though?
I feel like Ivan Toney might. Yeah. Because he's blessed to have to be a striker that can score but also can feed with the ability of carrying the ball, provoking defenders, taking on one-on-ones and stuff like that. And Hoyland is a pure striker. If you feed the guy, he gonna make something out of nothing. You just gotta get the ball to him in that box.
Could you put Rashford on the left, Toney in the middle, and then Garnacho on the right?
I would do it depending if Sancho is healthy. I would rather put Sancho
and wants to play and is playing well.
I would rather put Sancho.
That's a lot of issues.
And I would put Haaland. But you know what? We're gonna see how that plays out.
Okay. So speaking of, I guess, center forwards, Alvaro Morata is looking likely to join AC Milan.
3 years, I think so.
4 years.
4 years.
For $13 million. That's a good deal for someone that's...
But, I see. They are actually triggering his release clause, which is 13 million from Atletico Madrid.
Mm-hmm. And then so lump this in as well. AC Milan are also interested in Nicholas Füllkrug as well.
Because he's been what is AC Milan trying to cook?
I don't know. Well, I mean, you're kind of preparing for Giroud on his way out.
Yeah. Oh, Giroud is retiring too. That was the name I was thinking. Yeah.
You got to give someone for Rafa Leao to feed because Leao is not a great finisher, but you got to think about how Morata could work well with him. Or Nicholas Füllkrug always seems to find his way into the box in very interesting ways.
He's like a cat. He's sneaky.
Yeah, but even though he's big, he looks like he should be working at a sports bar.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a really good idea if you think about it. Nicholas Füllkrug being fed the ball from Rafa Leao, because Rafa Leao, his one weakness is finishing.
Yeah.
But he's dangerously quick on the ball. He's got a really good dribbling set. He can feed the ball in well, and Füllkrug is a good finisher.
Yeah.
He doesn't have many years on his contracts left. I mean, he's 32, 31? So he doesn't have too much longer to play at that high of a level. But if you're kind of just feeding him the ball, if he's playing like a Giroud style, he can keep going until he's 37 because he's not having to run. Especially if you're feeding the ball that way, and especially if no, never mind. But no. So yeah, they're really trying to prep for that center forward position.
Yeah, Van Dijk could be leaving too, because there's a little bit of a shaky situation. He still got, I think, a year left on his contract, but he could be leaving Liverpool because Liverpool have their eyes set on a new CB that's fresh, that's young, and he's a Sporting, in I think it's in Portugal.
That's Portugal, yeah.
Yeah, his name is Gonçalo Inácio.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to know more about this guy, but I look a little bit. He's a promising talent. So I see what the coach is trying to cook. These guys are there, but I need some young blood. I'm building back.
The Portuguese league is one of the best leagues for doing that as well.
True.
You see a lot of the big stars of today and in the last 15 years, they're all coming from Sporting, from Porto, from Benfica.
Like Sporting and Porto, I think they have a good youth development program or something.
Yep, and they're the ones that are always playing more in Europe as well, so they're getting a bit more experience at young ages. They're higher profile games in general because these clubs are consistently in multiple competitions. Yeah, I mean, that's, them, and then the mid-table of the French league is sort of where you grab a lot of these young players that are great raw talents, and then you try to refine them the best you can.
If I'm them, hey man, I'm gonna shoot the prices high up there. I don't care.
Yeah.
Chelsea,
someone's gonna bite on it.
Yeah. Chelsea is ready. They're trying to do the swap deal with Aston Villa striker Oli Watkins. Yeah, that's why they're not interested in you, Ivan Toney.
I guess. Yeah.
But guess what? They want to give them Conor Gallagher.
I mean, that's not too bad. If you can get something more out of Enzo Fernandez, and it's obvious that the player's in there.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to work with him. Romeo Lavia's played one game. I bet you forgot he was even there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get that.
They have midfielders that can cover that space, but Gallagher's just kind of that, energy for them. And you don't want to see him go, but you need to rectify your striker situation. So
Arsenal and Aston Villa are both considering move to sign Atletico Madrid forward Joao Felix.
I do not like that idea.
Loan. Why? After his loan with Barcelona expired, by temporary offers for the Portugal international are expected to be blocked. But Arsenal Joao Felix, that the sudden interest it's interesting. Hey, this might be a rumor. I don't know, man. Yeah. That's crazy. Aston Villa, but you know what? I feel like if he goes to Aston Villa, he might be cooking over there. Because Aston Villa is in transition especially next season, because they gotta figure out depth, right? Last year, what did you have? Just the Premier League and potentially the cups. But next year you're gonna have to play Champions Leagues.
Yep.
And
what does he do? He does not fit into the Arsenal system well, because there's already people there that do those jobs better than him. If he's a center forward that doesn't score a lot of goals but creates a lot more chances, is a bit more effective, deeper than right on the line, that's what Gabriel Jesus does, and Jesus does that better than Felix does. He's not the poaching center forward. If he was, then great. That's what they need.
Yeah.
But Joao Felix has shown that he is inconsistent. He lacks somewhat of an identity, bouncing around from club to club. It feels like every other year he's somewhere else.
Yeah. You feel like you lose track of where the guy plays sometimes.
And that's not a good thing, because he's not playing well enough for you to remember where he's at. And then he's not the finisher that they need up front. You've already got someone that can do that in Jesus, and yet it's not effective enough for you to not be looking for a center forward. That's not going to solve your problems. You're going to have one guy extra on the wage bill, trying to justify his pay.
Yeah.
Doing the same exact thing. You'll have just another guy that can create but can't finish. Great. Awesome. See you in second place again.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. So I don't like that at all. I've got one more for you. Man City, there's no price that's been laid out. It's a very early deal, but they have come out and said that they want Dani Olmo from Leipzig.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah. I mean, a hell of a tournament. He's proven himself very, very well. And, you need someone in that midfield that's a good attacking option, because Bernardo Silva is going to Barcelona, whether we want to believe it or not.
The contrast I have about international competition is interesting. It's the competition where you get for coaches, especially because you play for your national team, there might not be a lot of competition or people in that position. So you get to play if you didn't play at your club, right? The thing about that, though, is you get to prove why you should be considered good.
Yeah.
You are a promising talent. And to get you, two things can happen. Your stocks are way high up. You prove your worth. They get you back in the club. Or people want to buy you. They buy you expensive. They put you in there and you shit the bed.
Right. Yeah.
Or
I didn't expect to say that.
Or you go in and you like, okay, y'all see me in the competition. You did see me in the internationals. How I can do it, I will do it for you. And you go there and you become the best thing since, I don't know, since Christoph Column discovered America. So
sweet. Here's why I think that Dani Olmo could actually be a really good deal for them.
Okay.
Because let me see. So he comes in to replace Pedri due to injury.
Mm-hmm.
Very tall order. Was not getting a lot of time, but really made the most of what he had there. But think about the two. Go ahead.
Thinking about Pedri, Paris Saint-Germain just submitted a bid for Pedri, 70 million. They want Pedri.
That's not bad. Yeah. He could look good for them in the midfield.
Yeah.
Dani Olmo, well, the Spanish side in general, the way that I've heard it very often described is very democratic.
Yeah.
Everybody has their position. They do it well. Nobody really feels like they're the superstar that's trying to take over the game and try to manage the game themselves. I think England suffers from that. I think that's ultimately why they seemed a bit more unconvincing this time around. Well, you know who else is very democratic? Man City.
Man City, yeah.
They play in a way of you perform your tasks. Each person does their dirty work so that nobody else really has to overstep.
Yeah.
And Dani Olmo has proven recently at a very high level that he can fill those tasks. He can fill that midfield position, do what is asked of him and nothing more, nothing less, but can allow for opportunities of greatness to happen for those around him, including himself as well. Yeah. He has experience in that style of play, unlike the Jack Grealish is, or even Jeremy Doku in a way of like, you can tell that they want to take it upon themselves to try to make something happen, as opposed to letting the system do its thing and manifest goals when they need to.
French left back Theo Hernandez is expected to sign a new contract with AC Milan. That's why I said I don't know what the hell AC Milan is trying to cook.
Yeah.
Despite interest from Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, I can see Real Madrid. I can see why, in the case that Davies don't work out, they got a good backup, or going for whoever comes.
I was gonna say, if they're both in the same team, Hernandez is the starter.
Yeah, but I don't think they want both though. I think they're just going to proceed both in case one. Yeah. Just to make sure we got something. Newcastle are considering a 40 million move for Bayern Munich winger Serge Gnabry, whose future in Germany is unclear following Michael Olise's arrival. Things are shaking up.
I like Serge Gnabry, and I think that Newcastle is kind of. I'm trying to be very diplomatic about it. I think it was an experiment.
Yeah.
And I think that was an interesting experiment. I don't know if it's still a destination place to go, because the whole point of their appeal was that they had a lot of money, but they spent it well. They were intending on being in the Champions League still. Yeah. They're not. You know what I mean? So it's like.
But do you not think it's more of a long project than a short-term thing?
Yes, I do, but I think that it's not working out as quickly or smoothly as they hoped it would. But I also think that Serge Gnabry is the quality of player that should only want to go to places that are built, as opposed to being a part of that project. He's not a project player. I consider him as someone that goes from a Bayern Munich to a PSG to a Liverpool to a. I'm not saying that these are the clubs that are best fit for him, but I mean that in terms of status of the clubs. If they're rebuilding over 1 or 2 seasons. They're not building up for the first time in decades and kind of backsliding quite a bit. They're not going to be in the Champions League, and there's just certain opportunities that he's not going to have if he goes there.
Manchester United are ready to compete with Arsenal for the signature of Girona winger Victor Sigankov. Wait, this is a name. Sigankov, like, bro, this gotta be one of the Middle Eastern names, bro. Yeah, he plays for Girona. I seen a little bit of him.
Sigankov?
Yeah,
Sigankov?
Yeah.
Hell of a name. Yeah. That's as Eastern European as it gets.
Yeah, no vowels. Golly, bro.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I know more about him, but hopefully.
Yeah, wait, I mean,
I don't know why Arsenal is trying to buy a winger there.
Yeah, I mean, it would be
probably for squad depth, because that was one of the things this season. Because if you play that
Saka was burnt out. Yeah, but it's still it's not the first curious transfer that Arteta's tried to put together. And so, like last year it was the Kai Havertz situation, which overall I think that it ended up being better than most expected, but not as well as it could have gone. But at the end of the day, that was the first thing that we thought of. It wasn't so much that Havertz was a bad player, but you're like, where does he fit? Where does he fit in? We have the depth there. It was in the midfield, and then he was trying to be, he's tried to be on the right wing occasionally.
Yeah.
Not for Arsenal, but then at a number 9, and that didn't work. So yeah, I mean, it's not the first time that there would be a kind of a head scratching summer transfer for the Arteta.
Man United, 40 million asking price for midfielders Scott McTominay. It's too expensive for West Ham, and of course, West Ham is not going to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
For this guy that
they could use McTominay though.
They could.
I think he fits well there. He's one of those players that I think once he steps down from a higher profile club and is allowed to make certain mistakes but be a little bit more free, I think that he works out there. That's just me. Sort of like a Jack Grealish thing as well. Of like, when you're the main man at Villa and you're allowed to have your super freedom, and then you're all of a sudden fitting a role that's a bit bigger than you are, as opposed to you being bigger than the role. I think that if McTominay is there and is allowed to make a couple of mistakes without the weekend press ripping him apart for being a Manchester United player, I think that he gets his confidence back, and I think he makes some good choices and gets to be a bit more expressive.
Yeah. Speaking of the Euros, we had the amazing competition. Guess we had the final. But do you feel like England with the amount of talent they had for this Euro, and they have as the national team of England, do you feel like they are not playing to the caliber that we all expect with this talent. Because when you watch England, Spain, if you look at the roster in England, you look at the roster of Spain.
Yeah.
They are much more expensive than the guys from Spain. They potentially have more, not even potentially, they obviously have more experience, although they're also young, but they have more experience playing competition and games. They have, well, it depends, because I'm saying on average, I guess, because you look at Spain, of course, you had Carvajal, Morata, all these guys with a lot of experience, but these guys are more in their 30s.
Yeah.
You know, they're up there, whereas the guys from England, they are projected to be the highest potential and possibly legends, but they did play. You look at the final, I'll tell you what, Declan Rice didn't play crap.
Yeah.
Again, all of them.
Walker was exposed time and time again. Harry Kane is either unfit, or the little bit of pace that he did have is just gone.
I think it's because he drops deep every time. I think that's the problem.
Yeah. So I've thought about this, and you're right. The individual players, but think about how these individual players, Foden, Saka, Kane, Bellingham, Rice, the clubs that they come from, they are main guys. Yeah. The ball goes through them more often than not. In the Arsenal midfield, Declan Rice dictates the tempo, and Saka dictates the offensive flow. Kane is the Bundesliga goal-scoring leader. Bellingham has basically been able to take over Real Madrid himself. Like, those guys, when it's one or two of those guys in one side, makes a difference. When every single player from their respective clubs is used to being the main guy on the ball, it fucks up your entire tempo. It completely fucks up your entire rhythm in terms of each player knowing who needs the ball at what moment for the best chance of success. Everyone is used to themselves being that guy, and it doesn't work that way.
And I would say this, of course, we can blame Southgate, and I will blame him too. But
blame him as well.
At least the player that is supposed to be this amazing prospect, talented young player that has it all, both in the club and anything, can't even do one or two moves that once in a while, then for us the fans, and we sit and say, "Oh yeah, that's why he gets paid the big bucks." It means something. There's a problem, right? When you look at they were at any time of the game or any moment, they were always in pursuit of the ball. And you don't have the ball, you can dictate anything. Declan Rice was nowhere to be found. I don't think Meno is a CDM. I think Meno is a pure CM, because off the ball, he's nowhere to be found. On the ball, he can do something. So that's why I think he's not a CDM. Because off the ball, people like Xabi Alonso back in the day, people like Kante, you will see how the move off the ball, you know.
Well, think about who the two most impressive guys were in that final for England: Cole Palmer, and Ollie Watkins. And those are of that England squad. Those are the two most unpopular guys that are used to being a part of a squad, kind of filling roles, and just kind of being a team player. The higher the profile is, the more that I think that they feel like they're forced to be involved. And it, like I said, it really does disrupt the natural flow of the game and the players understanding who needs to be where for what.
Personally, you try this bunch of guys 2 or 3 in the group stage, didn't work. I will have benched Kane.
Yes.
I will have benched Kane. Yes. I potentially will have benched either Foden or Bellingham, just one person in that position, and bring in a good left wing, or bring in Cole Palmer on that left. Try to shake up things a little bit.
I think that Palmer or Gordon on the left, take Kane out, and I think you can switch Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins, but I think Ollie Watkins is the one that comes in.
I mean, I would have done it either way, because you think about it, there's no left wing. Bellingham was playing left wing. Bellingham he's not left wing material. Shaw had to be the left wing and the left back. But guess what? Shaw is not fast enough to get back.
And he hasn't played a full game since February. So why are you putting him in that position?
He's gonna be it's gonna be difficult. And Yamal was going through that place like he was going to get ice cream every time. He was just going there.
And he's only 17, so he probably still is going to get ice cream.
So I was like, come on. And it's not Shaw's fault because his presence up was, you saw the presence. Yeah. But guess what? Because he's not quick at coming back, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
It's not like it's same thing as Marcelo back in Madrid days, but you have to find a way. How will I feeling when this guy is up?
Yeah.
Bellingham by natural instinct will be in the middle.
Well,
so
and it's irresponsible as a manager to ask of or put a player in a position where they have not been healthy for months, going on half a year, and you're going to introduce them back into the main lineup at this level. There's a level of pressure that you're then putting on them that is unfair to the player themselves.
At some point I felt bad because they were chasing for the ball for so long that I thought this guy, it looked like they all needed rest and water.
Yeah.
And Spain did not even look like they were so tired. Because guess what? I have the ball. I control the flow.
Did you see what Southgate said about the match day lineups?
No, what did he say?
Now, it's a fact, so you can make of that what you want, and it's not always fair to the players, but it's not the one factor that guaranteed your lack of success. He said that Spain had an extra 24 hours of rest because of where the semifinal games were set up, which is true. That is true. They did, because they played on different days as opposed to playing the same match day for ad revenue for the games, because instead of having one primetime game, you now have two. And yes, that does allow for one of the entire squad to get an extra 24 hours of rest.
To be honest, I think that's bullcrap. I think if they put England back, even if they give him 1 month, this England, this Spain will beat them.
I agree.
Very bad.
Now,
so you see what on the counters they were so bad. First of all,
yes,
William, and they were even lucky to just get 2 goals. To be honest,
yes.
William look at what single open play and action that England executed for real, that you were like, oh man, I see the potential coming back. It wasn't. You put Cole Palmer, you saw a difference. The manager here is really the problem, in the sense that you have the talent. You have to figure out how can I play them. You've tried this Kane thing, it doesn't work. The reason, and I would say, and I'll tell you another thing. Kane drops so deep that when Saka is up, he's trying to find a striker. There's no striker because Kane has to run back. Guess what? He's going to get tired so quick.
Oh, yeah. Now, see, so that's what I'm saying. Both things are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, an extra 24 hours of rest before a final does make a big difference for the players in terms of rest. But I got news for you. That's not the reason you lost the game.
Nah, bro.
You could have gotten, like I said, you could have gotten an extra week's rest instead of Spain.
Nah, bro.
The way that you were playing was not good enough to beat them anyway. But yes, I do understand 24 hours does make a difference.
And Bellingham
but now, it's too much.
You know what? I should. Brother.
Too many other things went wrong to blame it on the 24 hours of rest, without a doubt.
Yeah. Foden was nowhere to be found. Lost as
the entire fucking tournament in that position.
You know what?
Put him in that position.
Saka struggled so bad, and I will tell you what, these guys struggled. They struggled because they didn't have the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you rearrange this, put some Pickford had to save so much.
He had a great game.
Pickford had a good game.
Yeah.
He had a good game. If you keep bouncing like that, you're going to score.
Yep.
But that Williams guy, every time he held that ball, I was praying for England. Every time that left wing, I was like, dang,
because
he going to shoot.
Because Yamal on the right always looks interested in a goal. Nico Williams is so smooth on the ball, and he can create so much space with just one little feint. But then also, I mean, Dani Olmo in the middle is a constant threat himself, and he's great at delivering the ball. They just had a lot going on to the point where Alvaro Morata, all he had to do was sort of stand in somebody's way and take an occasional odd shot. But like, all he was really doing was pulling a defender to him at all times. And that freed up Olmo, Williams, and Yamal to really make what they wanted to happen.
Cucurella also had, and I would say Cucurella is good, but Chelsea was trash, and this tournament just proved it to me.
Well, that's the thing as well. The way that they played, the Spanish players played better as a national unit than most of them do for the club. Whereas England, they played better for their clubs. Like, just Marc Cucurella had a great tournament, and a lot of these guys that you don't hear a lot from, Dani Olmo is a great example. You know, like you don't hear that much out of them from their clubs. And it's not that they play bad; it's just that they all understand the selflessness that has to go in to playing at the national level.
I personally in some ways I kind of hate England in some ways, and because they always overinflated egos. You listen to the channel, oh, this guy, that guy, and I said it, and I will say it again. You put England every time against they will beat them. I just know it. It's not because guess what, England. When's the last time they ever won an international competition? It was in the 60s, dude.
66?
Yeah, right? When Germany was still West Germany, that don't count. I mean, it counts. Yeah. It's history. But I'm just saying this to say,
the Beatles' Revolver album was released the same year that they won the World Cup. Yeah.
In the 60s?
The Mamas and Papas debuted their first record in 1966. Dang, it was a year before the Monterey Pop Festival where Otis Redding performed for the first time.
Golly, I didn't know the Beatles was that back far.
Yeah, they started as a band in 1962. They came to the U.S. in 1964. Beatlemania started in 64.
That makes sense.
Yep.
And it's like now the thing they have to look is like, yeah, first of all, Southgate gotta go. Now the next thing,
I'm sorry.
That's first thing on the agenda. How do we play? Because I have talent. I have a golden generation now. How do we play as a unit?
I don't think you have a golden generation. I think you have a golden generation of players.
Individuals.
Yeah, you don't have a golden. You don't have a golden age team.
Because Barcelona. I mean, I talk about Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah.
Looking at Spain as individuals, it's not you're not even having the Spain of 2010,
right?
Because if you had that, you guys will be just getting a lot of goals.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, and this Spain is good because this talent, the only person that I see not coming back is Carvajal because of age. And Morata, but this Spain, the next two in the World Cup, they will be a problem, and most certainly. Most of these guys will be stars now. They will be main guys, and that will be a problem. So if you're England, your question should be, how do I make these guys work within them? It's easy. For me, I think it's easy because you need someone, first of all, that's good at link-up play. You need a cam or an 8 or a 10 that will get the ball to my 9. Because if Kane has to drop every time...
That's Foden in the middle, but you have him out on the wing.
Yeah,
it's obvious. That's what he does at City.
You do all this thing.
Yeah.
Then you gotta reorganize your middle. Yep. I don't know how you would do it, but you can do it. You got the players. Yep. Man, I'm telling you, Williams was giving the business to Walker, man.
Yeah.
He was. And it's not even that Walker played bad too. I also think it's the fact that Walker had to compensate for a lot because sometimes he had to go CB, sometimes he's in front because the whole team were disorganized that day.
That's what it, for Walker, it wasn't that it was it was like personal big mistakes, a slip, a complete inability to cut. It's just out of position because you're right. He's having to cover so many different spots.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's still very quick. I think that he, in his mind, he doesn't understand the step that he's lost.
Yeah.
But then also, it's a bad manager to ask that player that is a speedster that has lost a bit of it, whether he recognizes it or not, to then cover multiple positions because you know that he's fast.
You know what? I don't even think the manager asked to cover. I think because of the disorganization, people had to be everywhere because they were trying to compensate off. I need to help the team, right? Because if you look at some point, they were so disorganized, just playing everywhere, out of position. Shaw was up, then you had Yamal dropping deep, splitting that line. You had Walker this side and that side. So I think if the team was just organized as a unit, I don't think Williams would have had all those the opportunities that he had. And Pickford won't have been seeing all these balls that he saw. Pickford saw so many balls. I thought this guy was gay. It's like everywhere.
And that's the worst part about being a goalkeeper as well. And that's why I think that it's the most thankless job. Because I mean, look, he can make 5 great saves, and
you make that one
and let one in, and it's like it's not, and it's oftentimes not even the one they let in is not even really the goalkeeper's fault. It's being pulled apart in every direction because the defensive line's in a mess. You know what I mean? I mean, that ball across to Nico Williams, like, that's hard to defend, man. Come on. What are you expecting to happen there?
No. Gay played very well. I think he's getting a big contract. I forgot what team is also after
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, okay. Williams, he's going to Barcelona for sure. If I'm Barcelona, I got to get him because this is real synergy between Yamal.
I was going to say,
they play well. Get him there.
They're both so young. They play well on the national level.
They vibe together, man. Yeah. It's that youthness in them. They're more like pals.
Well, and think about it this way as well. It's been rumored for a long time now, and I think it might happen. Could you imagine Yamal and Nico Williams, and instead of Dani Olmo in the back, in the attacking midfield creating the chances, it's Bernardo Silva. Because that's a very real thing that could be happening.
That would be exquisite.
That's exactly where Silva needs to be. He doesn't need to have pace. He's not on the wing. He's kind of doing now what Kevin De Bruyne does for City. Those deep threaded passes to the younger guys with pace that are good together on the wings, together in tandem. Man, yeah. I mean, that would be a really good move for the Barcelona side. And Pedri in the middle, kind of dictating pace and holding it down, letting Gavi run around like a maniac because he's younger and has more energy, even though he's not always the most astute person on the ball or without the ball or anywhere in the stadium. But he's got a lot of energy and he works his ass off.
And will Harry Kane ever win a trophy? Good.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, what kind of curse you got, brother?
Yeah. He needs to go figure out which doctor he pissed off. Like, what old gypsy woman did you run over with your car?
Yeah, man. You gotta go see that old lady that sold your soul somewhere, man. Just go
with the chicken bones,
bro.
With the chicken bones.
Damn, man. Yeah. He looked like they took his curse and buried it somewhere. They took his luck and buried it somewhere, man.
For sure. It's very sad.
Yeah, good. He gotta go play or wash yourself in one of these rivers.
Yeah, not the Hudson, or the river that runs through Nashville. No Cumberland baptisms.
No. You gotta.
That water is green.
Oh my goodness. Well, Copa America was such an interesting thing.
Yeah,
it was amazing because they had a lot of fans that are, But on the other side, you know what happened? There was chaos. Argentina, Colombia.
Yeah.
Delayed.
What was that exactly? I saw that it was like people that were trying to get in without tickets or fake tickets and like
fans stuck outside after gates breach and closed, right? So guess what? I think at some point there were so many fans that overpowered the security and got in. Some people were sneaking.
I saw that
event,
which I thought was funny. Yeah, it's an interesting visual to see.
Yeah. So the whole question is, the U.S. are they ready for the World Cup? Because guess what? That's just Copa America.
Yeah.
When everybody from around the world is, if you think about it, you're expecting at least from around the world, right? You're expecting at least 30 to 40 million people.
Yeah.
Or even
which is a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna be saturated, and these people are coming to enjoy. And with this type of people,
sneak into the stadium
because some people are coming here for the vibes. They're like, hey, I might show up if there's opportunity. I might get in. Because at the Argentina, Colombia, there were people that were in the seats without tickets.
Yep.
And people that had tickets were out because at some point they closed the gate. Then because there was a lot of complaining and people had tickets and they were showing it, and they're like, oh, they opened the gates a little bit without scanning the tickets. People got in the gate. It's like, brother,
there is a Looney Tunes skit in there somewhere. Yeah.
It's such and the questions: where was security? How is security? How are you gonna handle when you have a World Cup final?
Bring in the National Guard, baby.
Good grief. Yeah. I think that's what that was. But the game itself was amazing.
Yeah.
But these questions have to be raised because 2026 is not far, actually.
Yeah.
It's just 2 years or 1 year and a half, something like that. But how are you going to compensate? How are you going to fix these issues?
One of the only things that you can really say, I guess, is that the individual stadiums might not have the same amount of pressure because there will be multiple games in multiple areas. That like it's not all converging on like Atlanta. They'll be in Atlanta and then 2 days later they'll be in LA and then Kansas City. I'm just naming cities.
Yeah.
But in theory, those people being dispersed over multiple cities because not everybody's going to be able to go to multiple matchups. So it'll just be broken up over 4 or 5 locations. Again, I agree, I don't think that that's enough desaturation. Whereas the Copa America final, it's like you all descended onto one location.
How about when you start having semifinals? Because
I know
the World Cup,
that's what I'm saying.
Exciting.
That was the only excuse that I really heard around was that multiple locations. You spread people out. It's a little bit thinner. But no, something's gonna have to improve.
You think about it, right? They're forgetting something. You're hosting a World Cup or a Copa America means you're hosting things that people that like the sport are gonna show up.
Yeah,
this is not like this is your MLS. These are people that actually like the sport.
Yeah. So, or even the Super Bowl, where like, you know, not everybody that's there gives a shit about football. They're there for like an experience. It's like, no, these are hardcore fans, man. Like some guys might be there for the experience, but most of these guys are there for the game.
I mean, hardcore fans, there's always those people.
Yeah.
Those people that they're just there for trouble.
Yeah. And they'll find it in Atlanta. I know they will.
Oh yeah, they'll find it, and they go and sneaking. You know, so
there are several cities in the country that, you know, have a reputation for being tough cities. Most of them won't be able to host a game. Like I'm thinking Baltimore, I'm thinking Detroit, I'm thinking Oakland. But no, Atlanta's one of those ones that it's got a reputation for certain places not being the best to go to, but they're getting one of the World Cup matches. Sure. So I kind of want to see what troublemaking fans do in Atlanta. Like, that's an interesting city to push with them. And if you're anywhere near Dallas, I don't want to be in the city of Dallas when those people clash. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I think LA will welcome with open arms. I think LA kind of likes crime, so I think that they'll get away with some of the stuff, and people like will enjoy their crime.
Yeah.
Other places will be interesting to see though, for sure.
James Rodriguez, what a beautiful competition he had.
Yeah.
I'm calling the rebirth.
You say his name so strangely. I always second guess who you're talking about.
James Rodriguez.
James Rodriguez. Yeah. So just like you say it slightly different each time. We're having to go. Wait. Okay. Fuck.
Yeah.
Rodriguez. There you go. Anyway, but yes, very good tournament.
Rebirth.
People thought he was done.
Like Isco this year. Like this player is just coming back. I think he had 5 assists, 1 goal.
Yep.
And player of the tournament. He did very well. Honestly, I thought I was kind of rooting for Colombia, to be honest, because
you were
I was.
We've talked off. No, you were 100% going for them.
Yeah, because man, Colombia played well.
Yeah.
And if you talk about the most exciting team, the whole competition was Colombia. It's same thing as in Euro. Like you can see why Spain won because they scored on open plays. They were the most exciting team from start to finish. Same thing for me personally. Colombia did that. Diaz played very well, man. This guy played his butt off, bro. Like this Diaz I saw, I feel like he's improving every time I see him. So if he brings that same energy to Liverpool, next year Liverpool is gonna be, or next season Liverpool is gonna be different for him.
Yeah,
in a sense.
Hopefully with a better finisher, so that he can feed the ball into somebody.
Yeah,
that's
he did
more clinical.
Like what I saw from him, this is a little bit more patience. Like I don't have to take it if I'm second guessing, so I'm gonna send it. So those are all things that matters, because if you keep taking and you're missing, it's not good. Because you're just wasting.
Well, and I was going for Colombia as well, not just because they're the underdog, but it's one thing to see an underdog that is legitimately playing well. Because if for the World Cup, Japan. I always love watching Japan, because they're a rough and tumble team. They counter a lot, but they get countered a lot. They work their asses off. They're entertaining to watch, but you watch them and you think this is so fun, but also this style is not sustainable. You're going to end up losing playing this way, but you're so fun that I love watching you. Colombia was the underdog, but they were playing well enough to where they're only an underdog by reputation. By what their legacy of their country means in this tournament and globally for the World Cup as well. If you're playing against Argentina, you are an underdog regardless of almost who you are. But they were playing well as a unit. It didn't just feel like it was this luck. We're praying. You know what I mean?
28 games and they had to be stopped. So without losing,
I was
played very well,
I was going for them as well for sure.
I that was my team.
It'll be interesting to see what they do for the World Cup as well.
If they got this, if they keep the same coach, because that coach has been there for a while, so I can see them causing problem provided they make it to the World Cup. So it's gonna be really interesting. And man, they had such a beautiful tournament, and unfortunately they didn't win, but they won the hearts of the fan. Argentina, same thing. Argentina did good. Messi, if you look at the best 11, Messi is in there. Di Maria is in the whole competition. I think Messi is the good. Don't get me wrong, but that being there, I don't think that's right. Di Maria is in there. The Paul Fernandez, but it's mostly Colombia's team and Argentina. So that's the best.
When we might not see him back for a little while. That ankle looked really bad. Really bad.
Because now he's supposed to be back for the season.
Right? Not a chance.
Yeah, he's not
like I told you earlier, like that did not look sprained. That looked like what my ankle looked like when I broke it badly.
Damn. And
like couldn't properly walk on it for 3 to 4 months at least.
Sure.
It was in a boot for longer than that. So it looked really bad.
Yeah.
That was some sort of break. And for people that were saying like he was walking on it, he was limping on it. I walked on my broken ankle for 2 days before I realized that it needed to be looked at. Like you can, it just fucking hurts. I was on it the same night that I broke it. So, it's possible. Adrenaline can work that way. The swelling, the initial swelling can actually kind of coat some of the issues and kind of pad out the real problem that's going on. Once that subsides and the bruising starts, then you'll really feel it and you'll really know that it's broken. So I think that he'll be out for a little while. In fact, I haven't checked the news. I wouldn't be surprised if I checked the news in the next couple of minutes after we wrap.
Congratulations for Argentina. Let me give her. Yeah, the big winner.
Whatever.
And congratulations for Spain too.
Yes, I was actually very happy for Spain to win.
Yeah,
I was saddened by Argentina, but Germany and Spain were the most entertaining to watch. And if you're a neutral for national teams and national play, for me, it's always who's the most fun to watch, who looks like the most entertaining team to watch, but also the one that's going to get the best results at the same time.
Yeah.
The only time that you really support the boring, because France was boring to watch. Let's face it.
Was boring.
And England
the campaign was fiasco. Was a fiasco too. They gotta rethink the whole thing around again.
So, yeah, I mean, and then the U.S. played like shit in the Copa America, but I support them. But if they're out of a tournament or not competing in a tournament, it's always who's the most fun, most energetic, most creative. And I thought that Spain and Colombia were those two. So it was cool to see at least one of them win.
Yeah, I think that too. Wow. Martinez, Emilio Martinez from Argentina, he had a good final, and he had a good competition all the way around. I wonder how him as a goalkeeper, they didn't big teams are not coming for him.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Is he
Since
getting
the World Cup?
Is he getting a deal? Is he getting somewhere promoted? No.
I thought even from the World Cup he would have gone somewhere, but it don't look like that. Man.
See, the thing is, you just have to start considering Aston Villa a big club. I guess is what you have to do. And they have a history. They're not. You could say other teams and be rude. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, they haven't had a lot of club success in decades and decades. But yeah, you've got to think he should be getting somewhere soon.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Yeah, 1 goal, 6 assists, 4 match of the man of the match award, player of the tournament, James Rodriguez. Man, this guy, when he burst onto the scene of just in 2014 after that goal, man, good Cruyff in that World Cup, we got him to Madrid. But he didn't. He showed once in a while. But he didn't come with what we really expected, and I was so sad because he was actually one of my favorite youngsters in 2014.
Yeah.
But
is it too late to get one last move and figure out what? I
gotta even know where he is for Argentina. I don't know why people. To be honest, as a night, Lautaro Martinez should be in the he was so important for Argentina in this campaign. He was so important, and man, this guy, he's gonna be somewhat to watch out for Argentina, especially. I feel like that's the next thing for them as the winger.
So here you go. After leaving Everton in 2021, James Rodriguez went to Al Rayyan, which is a Qatari side, for 1 season. Went to Olympiacos for 1 season, and is currently at Sao Paulo.
Yeah, it's done, bro.
Well, I don't know. Where could he go? Could he? I don't know. Could he go somewhere in the French league?
No,
you don't think so?
He probably don't have the level anymore. The French league might be a farmers league, but once you start hitting back your own leagues, bro, that's done. It's like going back to the MLS and think, no, you can't, bro.
Yeah.
I know Neymar for sure wants to go back to probably Santos, because I think he's from Santos.
He is from Santos. Yeah. Did you hear the nonsense that he was interested in? That he wanted to get a move to Arsenal.
Oh, for real?
Did you see that?
No.
That made me laugh my ass off. I would say I would pick it. I would fly to England. I would have protest signs. Don't do this.
They got it.
Don't. So no, it does not.
Arsenal might get him.
No.
They need someone like him.
No, they do not. They have creative players. Get a fucking finisher.
They got a creative player, but they don't have flair or plays. Like you seen what Yamal did to England, and part of the reason is because English players as a whole, there's not tactically savvy player. Foden is supposed to be that guy in a sense, but I don't see that much. Bellingham a little bit, like that flair, that witness, that tactical, just baiting you on doing all these things. Samba, Joga Bonito. That creates something when you're in there. You know, that's how most of these guys will beat you. If you're not really good at direct plays, you gotta have this. If you're not like Germany, where Germany is really good at direct plays, you gotta have someone. You gotta have this type of people. You know.
I don't know if we need him as an individual.
No,
he does somebody like him. He does nothing for morale. I don't think so.
But hey, he's the best flair players of this generation.
I guess the last time that we had a player at Arsenal that was that like kind of a showman.
Yeah,
that was Aubameyang, and it did not work, and you had a lot of morale issues around it as well.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a good move. And again, it was very much a rumor, but it had some sort of validity. But I agree that
he probably don't have the level no more. But I think he wants to go back to Santos and just give back to his club. But
hell, he said that while he was at PSG, like that, that's where he wanted to close his career. It's not that not that he wanted to go there right now, but that he had plans to like kind of finish his career up there. Yeah. Which I get. I think a lot of players do that and should want to do that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, we are at the end of this show.
We're at the ass end of it.
Like I said, man, if you don't want to look at us,
why not?
You can hear us. Go to Spotify and subscribe. Go to our TikTok, give us a like. Join the conversation.
Give us that Spotify star review.
Everything you can, brother.
Star review.
Yeah. Do it, man. Do it. For that, I'm gonna give you guys some gunshots, man. Yeah, that's how it sounds like when you listen to our podcast. It's freaking amazing, bro. Like, go and give us a like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Yeah, we drop this every Tuesdays, and if you go on our social medias, you can watch the beats.
Tuesdays on the channel.
All right, guys. See y'all when we see y'all.
Goodbye.
Bye.